Chapter 1, Research and Librarianship. Research record. This chapter will concern itself only with the relatively recent record of library research. Research records refer to any type of records or materials that document your research effort. The consensus of a number of those individuals who have assessed the previous research of librarians is that the quantity and quality have left something to be desired. Definition of research: a method of study by which, through the careful and exhaustive investigation of all the ascertainable evidence bearing upon a definable problem, we reach a solution to that problem. As Speaker stated, scientific research is concerned with elucidating concepts and their relations, hypotheses, and theories, and is not necessarily and certainly not directly related to technical and practical problems. The second major type of research is usually known as applied research and encompasses a variety of specific research techniques such as system analysis and operations research. In other words, basic research often leads to practical applications, while applied research frequently acts as a foundation for subsequent theoretical or basic research. When discussing Pasteur's philosophy of research, Stokes described it as the integration of both basic research in his search for knowledge and applied research in his quest to solve practical problems. Types of previous library research. A 1984 issue of Library Trends was devoted to research and librarianship, and it reviewed research as related to the history of library and information science, economics of libraries, political science, sociology, psychology of information use, organization theory, public administration, and operations research. In the first chapter of this issue of Library Trends, Mary Jo Lenz identified her own general categories for describing different research activities as practical research, bibliographical research, scholarly research, and scientific research. Butler analyzed library and information science or less dissertations to identify the author's gender, the nature of the most highly cited materials, the most highly cited journal, the literature site disciplines other than less, the countries of origin of publication sites, and the currency of the site literature. Fidel analyzed 465 articles published in 4 list research journals, 5% 22 articles. Used the mixed methods research or MMR approach, which integrates qualitative and quantitative methods in one study. Limitations of previous library research. Unfortunately, the past research record for library and information science is not exemplary. Garrison, while acknowledging that considerable advance had been made in public library research in the previous decade, went on to itemize several shortcomings of research, including the following. 1. Researchers have not disseminated their results adequately. 2. Practitioners have not kept up with research results that have been reported. 3. The profession has been too content with non-research reports. 4. The audience for research journals have been too limited. 5. Dissertations have seldom had any relationship to previous or subsequent research. 6. The impact of reported research that has been weakened due to poor bibliographic control and inadequate availability of copies. Rationale for basic research in library and information science. Growth of the profession. As indicated earlier, one of the major purposes of basic research is to create new knowledge, or, as stated by Molly, it is the purpose of science or scientific research to go beyond experience and common sense, which frequently are quite limited and inadequate, and often quiet and correct. For advancing knowledge, for promoting progress, and for enabling man to relate more effectively to his environment. to accomplish his purposes and to resolve his complex. In addition, the profession needs to advance beyond its heavy dependence on descriptive data and establish principles and theories on which libraries and information systems and service can be based. Theoretical knowledge, as distinguished from knowledge based on practice, is generally developed or discovered through the process of research, a process in which librarianship has not had much of tradition. Management. Much of the knowledge created as a result of basic research is likely to have practical applications for the improvement of practices in actual library operations. Assuming the responsibility of practical research is probably the most important rule a librarian can accept. The application of research findings should result in improved decision making, more knowledgeable insights into a wealth of library issues, better and more accountable services and programs, and the continued maturation of lists as discipline or profession. Thus, there is the need for academic librarians to possess an understanding of data gathering techniques, which are informed by an understanding of the nature of the research methodologies available and an understanding of nature of the statistical analysis techniques available. Reading research reports. Another benefit of having a reasonable mastery of basic research methods is that it should allow one to understand and critically evaluate the research reports of others. According to Swisser, the reader who understands the process of research will question much more about the literature in general and correctly identify the working limitation of the literature. Improve service to researchers. Advantage to having a basic knowledge of research methods, at least for those librarians who serve researchers, is a greater understanding of the needs of researchers provided by this awareness. Only when the librarian knows the basic process which our researchers utilize can the researchers' need be fully anticipated and met, or as Engels states, a thorough and continuing personal grounding in the experience of learning and research in academic setting prepares us to join students and faculty in the creative act which bibliographic research can be. Personal benefits. Most important among the benefits one could expect to realize from a study of research methods is the ability to conduct research. An awareness of research methods and design also should prove helpful for those preparing research proposals in order to obtain financial support for their research activities. In addition, it has been pointed out that the study of research methods can improve one's ability to think critically and analytically, competencies associated with leadership. A library's involvement in research can even improve staff morale and enhance the library's status in its community. The future of library research. Research is too important to be left to dilettantes and amateurs, and its pursuit should be reserved for those who are qualified for it by aptitude, education, and motivation. In short, education appears to be one key to solving the problem. Not only can education provide the basic skills needed for conducting research, but it can help to shape attitudes and supply motivations. As Shira stated, a specific part of the course of the study for graduate students in librarianship should be the acquiring of knowledge of the principles and methods of research as applied to the investigation of library problems, together with the ability to evaluate research results, especially research in librarianship.